Hello everyone and welcome to the New York Empoleon's Week 4 Team Builder of the PBAL. We are here this week taking on Max Raptor, coach of the Tasmanian Toxicroaks, and if you missed it, we have managed to, for one of the first times, not the first time, but one of the first times, managed to get 3-0 in a league. It feels good. I can frequently get to 3-0, but it seems like 4-0 is just a difficult number to reach. So this will be my hardest match so far this season. They've gotten progressively more difficult, although you could argue Bloody was the hardest match I'll have all season since he's the one who eliminated me from playoffs last time, and I managed to beat him. But this guy's 3-0. He's a good coach. He's clearly very competent, knows what he's doing, and his team is terrifying. So let's not stall any longer. If you want to go check out Max Raptor, links in the description below, as is every coach in the league. But his team is Alolan Persian, Latias, Porygon Z, Heracross, Stoutland, Clefable, Tangrowth, Toxapex, Hippopotas, and Steelix. And of course, as you see on the second half of that, the first half I was totally fine with. I was having a good time. I was reading it. I was having a good time. The second half, not as much. It's fat. We have 20 minutes because I can't play on LAN. So it's, on me if we don't manage to finish in time. But so far my matches have been able to finish on time, and I sort of have a plan this week. There's a way I need this battle to go if it's going to finish on time with a win for me. Because obviously just finishing on time, I can do that. I can lose 6-0 really fast. But finishing on time with a win for me is going to be a little bit more difficult depending on the sets he brings. Now, one good thing is that while Clefable, Tangrowth, Toxapex, Steelix as a core is really scary, I don't see him bringing all four of them. Steelix feels really good because it's his only switch into Gardevoir stabs, and we'll get to Gardevoir later. Also happens to wall the Durant stabs as well, and the Nihilego stabs. So Steelix feels like one of the ones he's going to bring. Clefable also, because it can pretty much handle the Dragapult, seems really reasonable. And then it would surprise me to see both of Tangrowth and Toxapex. One of them and either one seems possible, but both seems unlikely. More likely the Toxapex than the Tangrowth, in my opinion. That said, he could certainly bring all four, and I wouldn't be too surprised. Of his Mons, Latias and Heracross for his offensive Mons are definitely the scariest, although Porygon Z is no slouch, and I definitely need to be ready for that. So his team was a lot more difficult to break down than other ones because, again, I am also trying to break down how to win in 20 minutes. It's not just beat them. I could probably make a team that would win on Showdown over 50, 70 turns, but I don't think I have the opportunity to play 50 to 70 turns. So what I need to do is get an advantage and maintain it. So we're going to lead off with the Nihilego. Well, I don't know if we're going to lead off the match, but right now we're going to start off with the Nihilego. Nihilego does have the Sludge Bomb, Toxic Spikes, Acid Spray, and Knockoff. You'll see that I am running 2 poison moves. Steelix is something I can't hit anyway, so why bother, right? My voice just gave out in the middle of that word. I'm going to drink some water right here. I can't hit the Steelix anyway, so I'm just going to knock it off. I'm just going to set up Toxic Spikes and die and whatever. That's fine. This thing, if it gets the opportunity to Acid Spray against the Toxapex, the Clefable, that's super great. If it doesn't, spamming Sludge Bomb against everything not named Steelix is fine. I'm perfectly comfortable with that situation occurring. Sludge Bomb is just good stab against the rest of his roster, and I figured, yeah, Knockoff's useful for the couple of things like Pex and Steelix or the Hippopotas that could come in and take the hit from this on the poison side. Rock Stab, not that important. Heracross is neutral to both anyway, as is all of his offensive Mons, so I just figured Sludge Bomb was enough, 30% chance to poison, why not? Next up, we have the Dragapult. Dragapult this week going to be rocking out with the Acrobatics, Dragon Pulse, Light Screen, and Shadow Ball, and a Colbur Berry. This is a weird set. I grant you. Totally a weird set. The reason that I'm running this set is mostly, it's modest and max special attack. I still kill if he knockoffs with Heracross, like with an Acrobatics, even at minus attack nature. Like, I still kill that thing. That is the only thing Acrobatics is for, is a Scarf Heracross, or a Heracross that is like Guts or something and can take one hit. That's the only thing I need to click Acrobatics on. Everything else, it's better to click a stab move. Mostly Shadow Ball. This team has a couple of resists to Shadow Ball, Those don't resist Dragon, so that's my better option for those. Nothing else do I need flying coverage for, so I just have for the Heracross, because the Heracross is absolutely horrifying, and Scarf Heracross spamming knockoff late game can easily win the game. This is not a late game cleaner, though. This thing kind of just comes in early, does a little work, gets a couple of chips, and maybe, if I can scare out the Latios, goes for a light screen, so that the Porygon Z or the Latios, like if he's got the Latios and he's like, oh, he's totally going Shadow Ball for whatever reason, and he goes into Porygon Z, getting up a light screen in front of that thing just makes my switches so much easier. So I'm running the light screen. This is a very odd set. I recognize that. But again, my goal isn't to have this thing sit there and take a billion hits and try to one-for-one everything. It's to set myself up for an advantage with my next Mons. And you'll see those right here. So next up is my Life Orb Swampert. Stealth Rock, Scald, Earth Power, and Ice Beam. I decided to go special on this because I expect him to be running more physical defense. It hits the Steelix way harder. I don't think he's going to expect special Swampert, in all honesty, so things that could maybe switch in, like the Toxapex on an Earthquake, if it's max Fizz Def, don't appreciate taking a Life Orb Earth Power, certainly not. And Scald getting burns is just way better for me than Flip Turn flipping me out, but doing basically no damage to anything, and maybe taking Rocky Helmet, so off the like Tangrowth or something. So getting the Earth Powers, the Ice Beams, Scald was just better than the physical set in my opinion. Rocks are amazing chip, just to 12% to all of his walls. Scouting, whether it's Unaware, or Magic Guard Clefable, all of that is super important to my strategy. And this thing, early game, does ridiculous amounts of work. It threatens everything, because if I'm max Fizz Def, Heracross struggles to break me if he's not running Bullet Seed, and if he is running Bullet Seed, that's pretty wild. I don't see that for just this, because if he is Scarf Bullet Seed, Durant just comes in on that, like, and gets to set up for free in front of it. So I don't see that being the set choice. And so, it's kind of a weird situation, but obviously this thing, if he doesn't Bullet Seed me with a Heracross on turn 1, can absolutely get a kill or two and just put me in a great position with Stealth Rocks up and up a Mon or two that can really help me in the late game. And it can break all of his walls. Steelix does not like it. Toxapex does not like it. Tangrowth, I mean, yeah, AV Tangrowth can take, max Spadef AV Tangrowth can take 3 Ice Beams. But if it's not max Spadef, if it's just like max Fizz Def, Ice Beam 2 at KOs, I have a little bit of speed investment and naturally outspeed, so I am going to be able to outrun the Tangrowth, hopefully. And Clefable is why I'm running the speed investment, just to not speed tie with that. Doesn't appreciate me spamming Earth Powers and Scalds if I need to. So breaking his walls is huge here, and Swampert does a great job as a wall breaker early game. It will die. There's almost no chance Swampert won't go down. I have to be okay with that. Next up is my Talonflame. Talonflame is my Heracross has gotten way out of hand, and we need to just put a stop to a direct, hard line to that. Dual Wing Beat shuts down Koba Berry sets. It shuts down Focus Sash sets. It is Gale Wings like proof, so I can click it and click it again later with Gale Wings up. If I do have an opportunity, I didn't need any other coverage. +2 Flare Blitz has a chance to OHKO Steelix after Rocks just to get rid of the Sturdy. So I figured I didn't need any other coverage. I might as well just run Swords Dance. But I am Gale Wings this week, even though it's not as good as it was in Gen 6. Because if Heracross is getting completely out of hand and my Talonflame is still healthy, that you better believe this thing's coming in on that. And it will outspeed because of Gale Wings and give me a chance to kill that Heracross. It's a 90% accurate move, but it gave me the fewest possible ways that he would get out of it outside of a miss. And the most possible options for me to actually get that kill as I need to get it against that Heracross. And finally, we have our 2 win cons here. First one is Durant that I mentioned before. A huge wall breaker against his roster. Coverage for his entire wall core in the Hone Claw, Stomping Tantrum, X-Scissor, Iron Head set that we are running this week. And I'm running an Expert Belt on it just to give it a little bit of extra oomph there. And because I hit pretty much everything super effectively outside of Porygon Z and Heracross, which are not that bulky, so they can't really, and the Stoutland, but again, they don't love taking Iron Heads and X-Scissors just like flying around. So Iron Head's amazing. Toxapex can come in on that, but Stomping Tantrum's awesome as well to handle the Toxapex and the Steelix especially once they've been chipped, but after a Hone Claws boost also, they do not appreciate that. Do have to watch out for like Fire Fang Steelix. I really wanted to run Akaberry, but the Expert Belt damage was just a little bit important for a couple of calcs, and so I was like, could Akaberry be good? Yes, but I like the Expert Belt here. I like the ability to get that damage off. Hone Claws, though, is definitely something I can get the opportunity to click against maybe a Scarf Heracross that's locked into a move that's maybe not close combat. I can take one close combat. I can't get a Hone Claws off on that, obviously, but I am Hustle, and getting a Hone Claws off will help a lot because otherwise I'm stressing. I'm clicking Stone Edge every single attack, and that's super stressful, but also super exciting, so... And my other possible win con here is my Gardevoir. I switched this thing from Choice Specs to Cassib Berry at the last minute, mostly because Shadow Ball Latias, I need to be able to switch in on that. I have to have the ability to switch in on that and Porygon Z. I can take almost any other one hit, but a Shadow Ball from a Latias or a Scarf Porygon Z going for Shadow Ball both just make me sad, and I just need to be able to take the hit from them. So going for the Cassib Berry, I do have the teleport because there wasn't really coverage I needed. The other thing was Specs forces me to make a really hard read that he's going to go Steelix. Being Cassib Berry, I can go for a Moonblast or a Psychic and then click Mystical Fire on the Steelix afterwards when I don't have to worry as much about it. I might try to bluff Scarf for a little while with the teleport plays. That's another reason that I wanted to run it. It gives me some momentum. But this is a win con 100%. This breaks Tangrowth, Toxapex, and Steelix. And if I lose this early, I'm in trouble. So Gardevoir, you probably won't see come in super early. Teleport, probably not going to be that useful. Maybe I'll get it off one time, making a pretty intense read there. But otherwise, this thing is going to be coming in later. It's going to be doing work against chipped Mons, and we're going to see how we do. Again, my battle plan is to lose the Nihilego, lose the Swampert, and finish with the Gardevoir or Durant, or a combination of both. Just pound him with breakers until his stuff is dead. And I don't have a lot of time to set up a lot of stuff, so it's just go for it. If he doesn't have Pex, T-Spikes help a lot with that timer, but otherwise we just go for it, and we just try to break it through his Mons. I have a lot of breakers. That is what my team is made of, and hopefully they do enough work to get me through. I will see you guys all back here tomorrow with the actual battle. It's a good time to be a fan of the New York Empoleons because we're having a good season so far, but it may all come crashing down pretty soon. I will see you guys all back here later. Take care, everybody.